always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, Who Dat Nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl.
Yeah. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that to the Black and Gold family members, man. We're in this thing for another installment of the Sports Coma. We're in this thing. Big ups to the family members. Thank y'all for chiming in. I know it's 1 in the morning. You never know, I might pop up on you. I told you, hit that notification bell, baby. You never know when Big Q is going to pop up and talk to the family members, man. Much love to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being here. It's 1:04 Central Time by my standard, by my clock here. I appreciate the great Saint Think Tank. I'm not going to keep you guys very long tonight. We did a Pelican post-game report earlier, maybe 30 minutes or so ago, recapping the Pelicans' win over the Grizzlies as they have now won 3 games in a row. So I'm very happy about that. But of course, my Saints continually are having issues and problems. Now, in this episode of the Great Saint Think Tank, I'd like to thank all of the family members for chiming in. Who that's all you beautiful Black and Gold family members. GM Kev is in the building, Tyra, Tramal, Young City Nightboard, and all the family members that's getting ready to chime in on this installment of the show. I know it's I'm kind of surprising a lot of people tonight on this one, and I kind of let some of the family members know from the show that I would be popping up here to talk to the family members about things going on. And of course, big ups to you. Thank you guys for being here with me tonight. And like I said, I won't keep you guys long on this show. What's up, Val? Big ups to you, Val. Thank you for being with us on the show tonight. So, Jamal's actually said Q will keep you company 24/7. So I just making sure everything is good with the family members. I appreciate y'all for chiming in on the show. Much love to the Great Saint Think Tank. And like I always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q chiming in this one. This one's called The Saints News. Saints facing discipline again for C-19 violations. Of course, this popped up right after we did the live stream today, early on when I was covering the contract information dealing with Drew. That broke yesterday. I covered that as well. I didn't want the show to go that long, but ultimately, when you're passionate, you tend to kind of push on. So big ups to the rest of the family members. Thank y'all for being here. Original Hot Boy 504, who that to your fam? Jermaine Scobie, who that to you? KK 504, N404 lady, who that to you? He said, damn, I thought Trump said he he still stink. Yeah, I know. It's something else. Jamal says Q popped up out of nowhere like a security guard. We security of the world, Craig. But listen, man, I'm just popping up, man, just to talk to the Great Saint Think Tank, give a shout out to the Who Dat Nation, and to cover some news, notes, and items, family, on tonight's episode of The Coma, man. And like I said, a lot of craziness going on. And once again, we can't allow ourselves, man, and I always said this about some of the precarious way we were taking care of business and often chimed out accountability. That's been a thing that I've been big on for over the last 4+ years of covering, 5+ years of covering the Saints in the capacity that I am. Hundreds of shows, thousands of hours talking about the Black and Gold, thousands of interviews played talking about this team. And man, eventually it'll come back to bite you. And what we mean is when I keep talking about accountability, it's one of the reasons why, in part, that we are not succeeding into the lengths that we're supposed to, because when you get into that rarefied area, you got to be able to hone in and get really disciplined to be able to take control and reach a little further. And we haven't been able to do that, man. And in this show, we're going to go over some news from the NFL, as the Saints are now facing discipline for the C-19 violations as well. So before I get into it, I like the family members to please strike upon the like button. Please strike upon the like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and join the realest show covering Saints news and notes. And we are 100% passionate. We're 100% determined. We're 100% focused as we're moving forward. So please strike upon the like button. KB, who that to you, baby? Good to see you in the chat as well. Hit the like button. Please feel free to share this link on your social media feed. It helps us out a great deal as we move in ahead. All right, KK50.44 lady says, yep, you've been saying Q, no accountability, none. People telling me, hey, Q, now you got full control of the team, and I keep telling you, I keep speaking truth to power every time, and people are listening. Even some people that was thinking in the opposite frame of mind, they're starting to give credit, and say, man, you're absolutely right. And I just appreciate the family. I appreciate you guys too. That's giving me an opportunity to be heard, and as well. So I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all for being here, and thank y'all for giving me the support and listening to me. So with that being said, we're gonna get into the show today, and I'm gonna share some news notes and articles with you on these reports. We have a couple of articles that I'm gonna share on this point today that I want to go over. So without further ado, we'll get going. So just give me just a second, and I'll get the screen shared, and we'll get into it. All right, just give me a second. All right, give me a second. All right. All right, here's one of the articles starting off right here. Saints facing disciplines coming from the NFL.com, written by Paula Cero and Ian Rappaport, a combined article by two reporters. Don't often see that, but it took both their information as they compiled this report. New Orleans Saints facing. Here it is right here. Discipline again for the C-19 violations. This is big because what ultimately happens is the Saints now will likely lose draft picks because of this. And let's get into the article. Tampa Bay Fall New Orleans Saints are again facing discipline for violations of NFL policies on C-19 that may have contributed to one of their star players becoming infected. And the punishment is likely to be the biggest yet for the third offense, of sources saying. Now, running back Alvin Kamara, the guy that loves to call Sean Payton Sean, call Coach Payton Sean, he tested positive and missed the team's Week 17 game after an interaction in the facility with a person not employed by the club who turned out to be positive. A violation captured on surveillance video, then obtained by the NFL per sources. How did they get that video? You know, I told you, man. They got the NFL has spies, man. In there. And it was interesting is who was the person that was in the facility like that. And I keep telling people about the things like this. This is not just some Joe Schmo player. This is one of your star players that's behaving in this manner. And now it'll cost you more. And like I said, he shouldn't have played in the playoff game against the Bears. He should have been benched for that game. That should have been a punishment, but there is no punishment except for the fact that he missed out on the Week 17 due to the protocols of having him to sit out of the game. But in retrospect, he should have been forced to sit out the Chicago game for violating that policy. That is something that the Players Association agreed upon, and he violated that. And that's what I'm talking about accountability. If it don't start from the top down, where does it start? You have to make your big star players an example when they violate rules and regulations. He should have been punished, not just with cash fines, but also with playing time. Sometimes that's like punching them in the gut full speed, where you take player time away from them. Take the playing time away from them. So, I mean, with that being said, we didn't do any punishment to this guy. He just kept doing what he do. He won't learn that way. Like I said, when people, some of these guys, they come from nothing to something, then when they make the big money, they go crazy. Some of them do. Not saying that he is one of these people. But we've seen the Junior Galettes of the world. They get some money and then they go absolutely batshit crazy. But this is just ridiculous. But a lot of questionable stuff. I'm questioning it from a critical standpoint using, how we doing the great Saint think tank football forensics. Got to coin that one. Running back Kamara tested positive C-19, missed the team's Week 17 game. And it's funny how the NFL waited for all this to go away before they leveled it. But you see what I'm saying? You see how it's like a snake lying in the grass, lying in wait. He ain't gonna pounce on you at first. He just gonna wait for the supreme opportunity to seize the moment while slithering ever so closer to you and when you least expect it, springing on you. So I mean, with that being said, man, I tell you, right before the Super Bowl of all things, and a gut punch would be if Tampa Bay was to win the damn thing. Running back Kamara tested positive, and he says, and of course, missed the team's Week 17 game after an interaction in the facility with a person not employed by the club who turned out to be positive. Wow. Then they said the violation captured surveillance video obtained by the NFL per sources, which is how did they get that video? I know for certain that they wouldn't have sent it to the NFL. So some kind of way they got it. It couldn't have come directly for the team. They wouldn't have told on each other. They wouldn't have told on themselves like that. So it probably came through some back dealings type of way. I'm telling you, that's how this go. Several other Saints running backs also missed Week 17 because they were deemed high risk close contacts. And Kamara was not only able to return for the wild card round because of a favorable scheduling decision. Saints previously were fined 250 G's and Coach Payton 100 G's for failing to properly wear face coverings in Week 2. The NFL also fined the team 500 G's and took away a 7th-round pick for maskless celebration in the Week 9 win. While the discipline in this case has not been finalized and could be reduced if the Saints issue fines internally for violators, it may end up including multiple or higher draft picks or even a larger fine. That's a part of it right there, as you can hear. And of course, remember after that, they start celebrating and wearing the mask as a stick it to the snake Goodell. And like I said, they know as an organization that Goodell hates the Saints. They know that. They know that. That's why you see the faceless, they sticking it to him, the clown shirt wearing, the stuff like that. He knows it. But you're giving a person, I've been saying this before, you're giving a person that hates you ammunition in his gun to shoot your ass down. And this is what this is. Let's go to the next article from the Saints Wire that gets a little bit more intricate into this. Now, pay attention to this. Saints running back Alvin Kamara refused to wear the contact tracing device. If you refuse to wear it, now, truth be told, your phone they can put an app on your phone. They know, and truth be told, they know if they really wanted to know exactly where you are, they can key in on your phone and know this is very simple. This is the age that we live in. But the truth is, he refused to wear the device for whatever reason. Let's get into the article. And this was shared, of course, by Jeff Duncan. Said Alvin Kamara's refusal to wear the contract tracing device issued by the NFL, mandated for all players and coaches, mandated, not meaning you don't have a choice, was an internal issue all season. Multiple sources said because of this, the league had no way to trace Kamara's close contacts after he tested positive. That's a major, major problem. So you mean to tell me that the NFL Players Association agreed to wear this device for you to play. You refuse to wear the device. They know this, and see, all this is coming out after the fact. But I keep telling people over and over again about that little A word, accountability. Hmm? Are you really the head coach of the team if you can't get one of your star players to even wear one of them? They're not playing with that. That was mandated. It wasn't a situation where it's voluntary. You had a choice. It's a mandated rule that they agreed upon. So with that being said, the head coach couldn't make him wear, and it's a mandatory deal. And if he didn't want to wear it, you can't come in this building. You can't play on this team. So how was he able not to wear it? See what I'm saying? I mean, it cracks in the armor, and like I said, I pay attention to this, man. They can't tell me nothing about this. People say this is one isolated incident. They're not, and even if you tell them no, it's not, they will not. They refuse to even much comprehend what you're saying. That if there's never just one. This is the one that I'm pulling to you, but I'm telling you, there always more than what you're saying. But I can't get people to see that and understand why the team is failing because of the accountability issue. You can't control your stars and make them do what you want. You're not going that far. And this is a part of it. Let's finish this up. New Orleans Saints under fire again for C-19 protocol violations during the 2020 season related to star running back Alvin Kamara's late season C virus infection. And reports added wrinkle. Kamara bristled at the new requirement for players and coaches to wear contact tracing devices, which made it difficult to identify potential exposures on the team once he tested positive in December. It ended up costing the Saints their entire running backs room. So not only did he endanger the entire running back room, and I said this, what was the punishment? What was the punishment for it? The amiibo cash fine. The worst thing you can do is take time away from him. He should have been suspended for the game against the Bears. That would have mean that you're serious, and that would have really put him straight, getting these people under control and making them understand that no player, I don't care who you are, nobody's bigger than the team. You know. But being with that said, Athletics Jeff Duncan reported an added wrinkle. Kamara bristled at the new requirement for players and coaches to wear the contact tracing devices, which made it difficult to identify potential exposures on the team once he tested positive. It ended up costing the Saints their entire running back room, including the position coach. Unfortunately, part-time wide receiver Ty Montgomery, fortunately, was able to fill in for the regular season finale. But Duncan added that getting Kamara to abide by health and safety procedures and wearing the contact tracing device was an internal issue for the New Orleans all season long. Not one game, but all season long, which frankly is simply irresponsible. Everyone knew the rules once they showed up for training camp. And I keep telling y'all over and over again about the countless times dealing with the behaviors of Alvin Kamara. I've been telling y'all about this. We called him lying in about the situation where he said he was in the building when Peyton said he wasn't, and Peyton fined him. Remember that? And basically, the reporter asked him, "So you call him Coach Peyton a liar?" Coach Peyton, they ain't say it like that, but they're saying, "But Coach Peyton said you was in building." I don't know what he talking about. He talking about, but I was in the building, even though we know he wasn't in the building. They got cameras, heavy security in the building. They ain't gonna just let any and everybody in the damn building. They would have known if you was in there. It would have been documented that you was in the building. But we knew that was a lie. But he was allowed to get away with that one. You know, not to mention the time when he said that he was 90% healthy. Remember, he had the injury last year. He said he was 90% healthy. Then he revealed earlier this year that we called upon, he was actually 60% playing on one leg. It's no need for that type of deception. Keep it real and tell the truth. And then, of course, when you practicing deception like that, you're going to keep weaving and saying bullshit that you're going to get caught up in. And of course, another thing is Duncan revealed, which says it was an internal issue. What does internal issue mean? Let's use football forensics. What is internal issue? Meaning it was an issue between him and the brass to wear the damn thing, to abide by that. Then he goes out to the club. Remember, so they alleviating the fact that he went to the club after the Vikings game. Remember that? And then they said he got a fight, but it was after he went to the club after the Christmas Day game in which he rushed for 6 touchdowns. And that's when it came down, right? But all season long, according to Jeff Duncan, this is information from Duncan, getting Kamara to abide by health and safety procedures, more than one. He said procedures, more than one. Not just that, but other things as well. And wearing the device was an internal issue, meaning that it was between him and the coach and the brass, because really it's the head coach. Internal issue, that's the coach. The coach is in charge of the players, the head coach. The head coach tells you either wear this or you're not playing. That solves everything. Either wear this or you're not playing. And if you keep refusing to wear it, I'm gonna have to get rid of you. Or I'm gonna dock you money, whatever. But no player is hired, and that's when the coach is supposed to lay down that punishment. He didn't. This wasn't just an isolated incident at the club. You see what I'm saying? I keep telling y'all it's always more underneath that because you can look at it and see the cracks in the armor of the team by the behaviors of the players. Also documented by the fact that he calls him Sean. And I said, listen, if I'm a coach and I've coached children before, I won't have a person, and Peyton got to be at least 50 something years old. And Kamara is in his 20s. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna have some dude that's in his 20s, and I'm in my 50s, and I'm in a senior role over you, having you calling me a role. If I'm the head coach, I'm having you calling me my first name. I don't care if I say that you can do that. I should have home training enough to say, listen, I'm not gonna call you that, Mr. Peyton or Coach Peyton, if that's the case. But you allow them to do that, and this is what they give to you. This is how it is. So I keep saying it, man, and hopefully they'll start listening. However, Kamara wasn't the only player to balk at the new requirement. Trent Brown of the Raiders cost his team 500 G's and the 2021 sixth-round draft pick after sparking an outbreak at the team facility. Tested positive and refusing to wear the device described as similar in size and look to an Apple Watch. And those proximity devices alert those wiring them, which means that if somebody is whatever, if somebody's test positive. The device is a tracking device and it's connected to all of the devices of the people around you, which means whoever you was around within that proximity of time, those people are tested and they try to trace it back to the origin point. That's the idea of the whole thing. But devices alert those wearing them when they were too close to others and track unique signatures. Remember, who have been exposed to an infection. While they aren't foolproof, they were an important tool in helping the league reach the Super Bowl. Now, so what could the Saints lose for Kamara's refusal to wear his device? It's possible they can avoid discipline. They can avoid discipline from the league. Don't even bet on that. Is it? Let me highlight this one here. It's possible they can avoid discipline from the league by issuing a fine to him, but given their repeat offender status, they probably won't get away with just a slap on the wrist. New Orleans doesn't have a 6th-round pick to forfeit in 2021 after trading it last year, so maybe the league looks elsewhere to punish them. Yeah, they're going to take a higher pick away from them. But let me say this. Look what Duncan said about this, and remember, keep this in your mental matrix. Kamara bristled at the requirement for players and coaches to wear the contract and made it difficult to identify potential hazards. And Duncan added, this is one of the most important of the article, is that he added that getting Kamara to abide by the health and safety procedures and wearing the bracelet or the device was an internal issue for New Orleans all season long, which frankly is simply irresponsible. Everyone knew the rules. They showed up for training camp. Right. But see, even that's melancholy of how Duncan checks him. He calls him irresponsible. It's downright dangerous. It's dangerous. And it's totally stupid, is what he should have said. Stupid. Because you said it'll never happen, but the whole damn room, you exposed all your buddies in the running back room to that. And that wasn't even, they were doing what they were supposed to do. You wasn't, and you the star of the team. Nothing happened to him that we knew about. The Saints might have hit him with a cash fine, but come on, man. He shouldn't have not played in the Chicago Bears, if you think about it, in that game. He shouldn't have been playing in that game. So let's go on to the next thing. New Orleans Peyton Manning, Alvin Kamara selected to the Hall of Fame. Sam Mills overlooked again, maybe next year for Sam Mills. I really was hoping Sam would get in there. But congratulations to Peyton Manning. He finally is put into the Hall of Fame. So native son of New Orleans, that's great news that Peyton Manning is now in the Hall of Fame. So how about that? So big ups to Peyton Manning, who is a farmer. We knew he was going to get there eventually, but this is really good news. Is Peyton Manning has made his way and it's official that Peyton is in the Hall of Fame. And you talk about a guy that did it the right way. This guy right here was something else, man. I remember when we was, coming up in high school, we played up against this dude's team, man. And it was like playing a college. I mean, it was how they ran it. It was like college against high. It was like a college team in high school. I mean, it was just ridiculous, man. But anyway, this guy is a Hall of Famer, man. He's a funny dude too. So, but congratulations to the man and fan, especially Peyton, man. He is a Hall of Famer. He was uh, given that honor, so big ups to him. Hall of Fame announced 2020 class of inductees on Saturday night during the annual NFL Honors event. It features several names familiar to Louisiana quarterback Peyton Manning, who lost in the Super Bowl against the Saints, legendary LSU Tiger offensive lineman Alvin Kamara, who was an absolute beast for the Tigers as well as the Steelers. Other honorees, including wide receiver, I think it was the Steelers. Alvin Kamara was on. I remember the Jets. Y'all remind me, man. It's been so long ago. Receiver, look, a Megatron made it as well. Megatron made it. Charles Woodson made it too, as well as John Lynch. That was a hard hitting safety. I wouldn't mind having a John Lynch today. Wide receiver Drew Pearson. Big ups to Drew Pearson, the former Cowboy. This man been waiting years to get in the Hall of Fame. Man, I remember watching the special where they would talk about it and he would just cry because people thought that Drew Pearson should have been in there. He finally gets in there. So big ups to Drew Pearson. I know he's a Cowboy. I got to give him, watching that special, man, I was like, man, put in a lot of work, and he became a lot older. And people used to say, what's going on? This, and he used to, in interviews, he would just break down about why he's not in the Hall. And he finally got in. So I know he's shedding tears of joy now and not sorrow. And Coach Flores has added, and contributor Bill Nunn also brought it in there. So Saints Sam Mills didn't make the cut after again reaching the finalist stage, but just understand his time is coming. A leading member of the Dome Patrol defense, Mills was teammates with Hall of Famer Ricky Jackson, Pat Swillen, and the late Vaughn Johnson, all great players. Mills himself passed away in '05 after helping fund the Carolina Panthers. Found the Carolina Panthers as an expansion franchise, having turned to coaching after retirement as a player. He'll enter and they have a statue. That's how great Sam Mills was with the Carolina Panthers in the small amount of time he went there. They erected a statue in his honor. That's how great he was. And he entered his 20-year of eligibility in 2021, but enshrinement may continue to elude him. He's joined again by the great Clay Matthews as a list of first-time eligible players. DeMarcus Ware, wow. Vince Wolford, wow. Steve Smith Sr., wow. Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, Robert, oh my goodness. You're talking about greats. Look, DeMarcus Ware, Vince Wolford, oh my goodness. Steve Smith, oh my goodness. Steve Smith, Devin Hester, the Andre Johnson. Oh, my years of terrific play with the Texans. Robert Mathis played opposite of Dwight Freeney in Indianapolis. Anquan Bolden busted up his face and still, I mean, one of the toughest wide receivers to ever play ball, Anquan Bolden. And these guys come up, so hopefully we can have an opportunity to get him in there, man, come next year. But congratulations to Alan Faneca and Peyton Manning, man, for getting in the Hall of Fame, man, getting that blazer. And this is the jacket right here. This mustard or brown, whatever you want to call it. This brown jacket, we want to make sure Drew Brees gets this. That's why I'm happy that he eventually is going to retire. So once again, before we leave, we're covering the main news, which is the Saints facing discipline again for the C-19 violations as reported by the NFL Network that said that a running back Kamara tested positive, and that's why he missed Week 17 because he was deemed a high risk contact. Kamara was unable to return for the wild card round or was able to return for the wild card round after a decision that Saints previously were fined 250,000 and blah blah blah. And then of course Jeff Duncan gave you the real meat and potatoes on what the hell happened and why it was what it was. And of course, according to Duncan's tweet, Duncan astutely says that, as you can read it in Wheat, and this is the source file, Alvin Kamara, and this is coming directly from Jeff Duncan's tweet, is that Alvin Kamara's refusal to wear the contact tracing device issued by the NFL and mandated for all players and coaches was an internal issue all season long between him and the head coach, pretty much, because nobody else mean nothing in terms of the head coaches over the team. He can make that guy do what he's supposed to do. Multiple teams said because of this. And of course, he said season long, multiple team sources said so. People inside of the building is telling them that that dude didn't want to abide by the C-19 measures all year long. But he wasn't docked anytime. Nothing was taken away from him. He wasn't fined. You see what I'm saying? How is that accountable, fam? If you could skirt that, and I keep telling y'all, if you could skirt that, and more pain is coming because if you got spies in the building giving up that information, that medical misreporting on those injury reports and all that, that's coming too. So don't be surprised you're gonna get your ass hammered by that sooner or later. I'm telling you, they just waiting and wait. They waited all this time to drop this on you right before the Super Bowl. They announced the Hall of Fame and all that kind of stuff. You got the Super Bowl Sunday, and they wait to spring this up. I'm telling you, they know how to move, man. Because of this, the league said no way to trace Kamara's close contacts after he tested positive. There's nothing the Saints could do about that, by the way. There's nothing. The Saints simply have to be able to handle it the way they did. It's absolutely insane, man. But that's a bit of the news right there, family. I just wanted to spring that on y'all. I'm sorry to give y'all that kind of news this late, but it came across my desk. And I was at the time I was I was preparing for the Pelican post game report, but I didn't want to wait too late to be able to drop this report on y'all to see what's to kind of explain the meat and potatoes. So, like I said, once again, the sports coma and the Great Saint Think Tank is on point with it. Man. We on point with it. We know what we're talking. We know what we're talking about. We ain't fools to nobody. And that's not good, man. But you seen with the tweet by Duncan, and it's not good. No matter how you slice it, dice it, uh, a whole year long. And remember, it's not just that game, but the whole year long. That's gonna be some heavy-handed stuff coming up. The whole year long, ducking it, the whole year, all season long. And then, like I said, none of this comes out until 2 weeks after you was eliminated. I keep telling y'all, brace yourself. because it's coming. It's coming. So brace yourself. Mow on away, family. This is going to be an entertaining, really awful. The NFL going to come with that pain for the black and gold nation. So just be mindful, man. And like I said, don't give bullets to a son bitch that don't like you and you to give you ammunition so you can gun you down. And that's what the Saints gave up to Goodell. They're giving him the ammunition. He gonna use it. He ain't got no problem knocking the Saints off. He don't like the Saints. They don't like him. That is well established. I've been saying that for years. They never, like him. Now he got something that he can use to tear you down. So fines, heavy fines, draft picks, whatever. And you counting on those draft picks because you're $100+ million over the cap. Once again, you can't get mad at Roger Goodell because the first thing them people gonna do is point at Goodell and say Goodell picking on the Saints and totally once again totally missed the point that all you had to do was do what you said that you was gonna do and follow the mandate. There was no way around the mandate. If you didn't want to do the mandate, don't sign a contract and don't play on the team if you didn't want to do that. Your own players association agreed for that, you know. But once again they're gonna point at Goodell and demonize Goodell, even though Goodell didn't put a gun to nobody's head and told them to disobey the rule. You see how this goes? I'm telling you, this is weird form of psychosis we underneath, man. For people that don't that refuse to look at the world as what it is, you will never understand how things work if you're underneath that frame of thinking. Keep telling you that. The saints doing this shit to themselves. It's not no invisible apparitions running around tripping you up and slamming doors on your foot and everything. No, that's your goof ass doing that. You doing it to yourself. You doing it to yourself because you're not playing it square. And when you don't play it square, stuff like that happen to people that don't play it square. When you don't play it square and you don't do what you said you're gonna do, you attract a certain type of energy that come in there and start screwing up and messing up. So expect that to happen big. That's the news that I got for the family members today on this one. And I promise you, family, I promise y'all, they'll have people, and you're gonna hear it all in the when people start hearing and listen to all the other Saints people. They're gonna blame Goodell if they're gonna blame Goodell for it, even though Goodell didn't have nothing to do with it. But he gonna hammer you if you give him the hammer to hit you. He don't like you. He gonna punch you down if you give an opportunity if because he don't like you. It's just what it is, and it's mutual. We don't like him either, but you don't give him ammunition to mess over you, especially when you're $100+ million underneath the cap. Well, 80 something million now, with Drew Brees giving up some of his money. Still, you got to get down there, and then of course you have other issues dealing with it. And like I said, and I keep telling people over and over again, no player is above the team. So if he didn't want to abide by the rules all season long, how you letting him get away with that? If it's one dude, I promise you it's another dude too. Yeah, think about it. Monkey see, monkey do, and I don't mean that in a negative term. What I'm saying is, if one guy sees another guy not doing it, he gonna say, you know what? He ain't doing it. Why should I do it? Right? That's common. That's human behavior. So that's just one isolated case. Sooner or later, you're gonna see multiple cases of other people. If they have video footage and evidence of people in the building that's leaking information to the NFL office or getting paid to do it, they gonna do it. Now I'm inside like, why would you tell on the team like that? You know, unless you don't like somebody in the building, some type of environment that's going on. Often struck me kind of weird that the Ryan Nielsen situation has nothing to do with that, but the behavior of Nielsen to try to leave several times, twice, and then once after getting a promotion, trying to leave, even though you just got a promotion, strikes me weird because people don't usually do that unless they really don't want to be there. You get what I'm saying? I'm just giving you a brief insight of what kind of environment this is. It's already new to a degree what type of person this is. But if you playing games like that, and like I said, putting people out there that's not totally healthy, broken ribs, misfalsifying the injury reports, all this, and none of the people ain't gonna say nothing about it. They're gonna look over it. I'm telling you, boy, boy, boy. I thank the Lord for my brain. I really do, and I thank Him for yours too. To be able to see it, and I used to be in that state of mine being a fool, but I'm not nobody's fool, man. Big ups to the family members in the chat. Much love to y'all. Thank y'all for joining me in this show as we cover this news notes on Alvin Kamara situation with the C-19. A bit eye opening. A lot of people said, okay, they hammering you for the things, but they didn't understand. That's why I had to add the NFL report and mix it with the tweet from Jeff Duncan to give you insights of why the NFL coming for you. So you don't just see that they're just out to get you once again. You get me? They're not playing with that stuff. And they agreed to it. And then on the back end, he didn't do it. And then went out to a club and then came back and endangered his entire running back room. That was totally irresponsible. At the very least, he should have been forced not to play that Chicago Bears playoff game. At the very least. But what did he do? What did he do? He played him in that game. And I keep telling y'all that if there was the reporters might have seen it or known about it, but I promise you the players knew about it. The players know before you know. And it was in there. And that's why I was saying if that was going on in there, then other players wasn't doing it because he wasn't doing it. And he is the star of the team, which means that he has to set the good example. If he's not setting a good example, he being Kamara is not setting a good example and following the C-19 protocols, then there'll be other people that saying, well, he ain't doing it. I ain't doing it either. I'm not doing it either. So, but Sean just told me this and Sean just told me that and all that. Remember I told y'all about that? I was like, man, that's not right. Don't call him Sean no more, bro. Because the moment you start calling him Sean, you're gonna be screwing over him, sneaking out to the club and doing all of that. Remember, and I keep telling y'all, man, over and over again. But anyway, big ups to the family members. Now people starting to see what I was saying. Where's the accountability? Where's accountability? But I promise you, people out there gonna tell me this is Goodell, Target, and the Saints. I'm like, are you freaking serious? Are you effing serious? Nothing that ever Peyton's fault, is it? Nothing is it, huh? And when you start thinking like that, you need to go get your head checked because you might be sitting your ass outside of you definitely not you totally detached from reality or don't know what accountability means and what a head coach is supposed to do. There is no game time or playing time if you do not wear this device. The Players Association said you wear it. Drew has to wear it. Cam has to wear it. Mike has to wear it. All these other guys, you gonna wear it. I ain't wearing it. Well, that's the easy decision right there. You ain't wearing it. Well, guess what? You ain't effing playing. Well, that's all right. You can trade me. I'll trade your ass. That's all right. I'll get a small haul for you. And then I'll trade your ass and then draft Trevor Etienne from Clemson to replace you. I mean, but that's how it got to be, man. If no player nor coach is higher than the team. That's how it works. That's how it works. And if they don't want to abide by the rules, because that's dangerous. It ain't like he didn't. He affected the entire running back room. I mean, that don't you don't ain't something supposed to happen with that? I mean, my goodness, we under a pandemic right now, and you out there partying at the club, and then you come back, don't want to wear no devices, you infect the entire running room, and then you wait for the protocols, and you still playing the Chicago Bears. Where was the penalty? Where? So like I keep saying over and over again, man. Sooner or later, them people gonna have to understand that I know what the hell I'm talking about. But big ups to the family members out there. I appreciate y'all. True Louisiana. What's up, fam? Good to see you there. KK 504 and 444 for later says AK left Bama because he don't like discipline or following the rules. And hold on here. Say that he didn't like following the rules. And let's see. Let me make sure I get what you're saying. Okay, I got you. I got you. I'm sorry, it was a little smallish. I had to peek at it. Yeah, that was a part of it too, man. I remember that was a real weird case of what happened with him in Alabama. Go to Tennessee. I remember talking about that several times on previous shows. Even showed the article some time ago on the show last year about what one of the people Nick Saban uses a person called the Wizard. He sends all of his players to before he brings them on, and they go there for conditioning. I mean, he basically brainwashed them so that they mind the Wizard brainwashes them so that they can be susceptible to Nick Saban's teaching. And you think that's crazy and it sounds like a weird sci-fi movie? I'm not telling you sci-fi, man. Truth be told, there's no such thing as science fiction because according to what they tell you, everything that is science can be proven. So I mean, I mean, according to the term, it's kind of moronic if you think about it. Science fiction. I mean, everything with science can be proven through a certain scientific processes of experimentation. So, but anyway, that is, you can actually research that. That was an article written by the Atlantic that spoke about the wizard that Nick Saban used, and the wizard said that Kamara was possessed with the devil. It's not. I'm not making this up, man. I ain't creative enough to make up some bullshit like that. But you can go back and read. That's what ultimately led to him getting kicked out from Alabama. He couldn't condition him, couldn't brainwash. But I guess Tennessee could, right? So I mean, sooner or later, somebody got his mind drove crazy because somebody on there, a crazy bastard, would do that kind of stuff. All right. Thank you, Sean. Sean C, what's up, fam? Good to see you in the chat. I don't know if he's on the hot seat or not, bro, because so many people gonna make excuses. You're gonna see a big freaking wall formed to protect him. I mean, it's just amazing. Anthony says, okay, take the kick and the balls and move on. Hurt like hell for a minute, then get on with your life. All right, Tramal says AK might get that clap from them thoughts. Come on, bro. True says, yeah, these sports athletes got to do better though and be responsible, especially as role models to our youth. And I caution you to point in that direction. I would want your children to look up to their parents as role models. What better role models? But most of us can be, the more responsible parents anyway. That should be off top because most of these athletes, man, oh my goodness, I tell you what, but yeah, Troy says, did they say what the punish? No, no punishment yet, bro. No punishment yet. They're still working that over. They just dropped the information that is coming to kind of soften you up a bit. Nola Ball is big up to you. So yeah, it's not. Troy is not out yet. The punishment's not out yet, but they did know that they took a 6 round draft pick away from the Saints. Saints don't have a pick, so it might go a little higher. Might be multiple picks. This is their third time offender and I don't think they had too many third time offenders. I think we're the first. You couple that with the fact that you have a commissioner that really don't like you. I'm just keeping it real, man. Sooner or later, man, we gotta get it together. All right, True says, True Big Q, most definitely the parents. I gotta agree. Yeah, we got the parents, man. I'm not, and that's the thing. Now, when I came up, I remember Magic Johnson and all those guys. But you know, my father worked 2 jobs when I was coming up, man, to make sure we had food and a roof over our head, clothes on our backs. We didn't have Jordans and all that. I didn't get that till later on when I became of age, where I was able to be responsible enough and learn how my money. Thanks to my grandfather who was good with his money. I didn't get a lot of that until later on, but really, truly, and awesomely, my mother and father worked hard. They worked hard. They were some of the hardest working people I ever known, and I give them all the credit in the world. Yeah, like I take them out, call them up on Sundays and just go over there and take them out to dinner just for the hell of it. You know what I'm saying? What you doing this for? Nah, just for the hell of it. Come on, let's go. Take them out to dinner and go chill with them. Sit down and watch a game with them, bring them something. It won't hurt you to do that, man. They ain't here. We got a certain amount of time, but it's being appreciatory and understand because I know how the conditioning is. They teach you to look at these athletes, but half these athletes done sold, they moving out here doing all reckless shit. I ain't nowhere in the world I'll push my son and say go be like that guy over there. I know what that guy did it to get it. I'm teaching you not to do that. I don't want you to do that. You don't have to do anything. If they can't appreciate who you are, your talents is what you are and who you are, then you don't need them and what they're offering. Because what you have is more valuable than anything they can ever possibly give you. And that's what I teach everybody, not my children, your children, adults, young people, everybody. I say the same shit every damn show. So I mean, like I said, I'm just the type of dude, man, that understands that we have to be able to have accountability if we're gonna be functional. Let's make a mission to just destroy dysfunction. Let's how about that? Let's not settle for and live in mediocrity and be dysfunctional. Dysfunction is a behavior pattern that we can break and we can start doing functional things, and then our lives will change. As opposed to blaming people for stuff around it. Let's change ourselves, and then our environment change. I think that's a part of it. But let's recognize the dysfunctional behaviors and not participate in them. And if we're smart enough to rationalize what's wrong, then we good enough to rationalize and get the solution to fix it. That's my mentality. Period. I mean, that's what I live by. All right, who that to you, Michael? Good to see you, Michael Nelson. Big ups to your family as well. Much love to you. Anthony says 500,000 on the second offense. Have AK pay for his transgressions. That's more than that. He got to lose some playing time too. Got to pay for that, man. I told you that he been out of pocket all season long, man. With underneath the scenes and the way he was moving, and I was like, accountability. Sooner or later, that's something you can't hide. It's gonna pop up sooner or later, and every off season, it always do. It always does. All right, true listeners. I seen yesterday I'm on NFL Network. They got Saints drafting that corner out of Georgia, Tyson Campbell. I don't know about him. I like. I'm gonna have to look him up. True Louisiana. I kind of like Morig, the safety out of TCU. I like him. I think he fits a move. Unless they decide to move Chauncey Gardner Johnson to safety. Tyson Campbell, I guess he wouldn't be a bad pickup depending on what the usage of Chauncey Gardner Johnson. But being that Dennis Allen's really not that imaginative, I would say that he probably keeps Chauncey Gardner at the nickel position. And then you'll probably have to address the safety via draft or probably not in free agency because you ain't going to have the money to be able to pay for a top notch safety. So you're going to have to probably pick him up in the draft. So safety got to be high on the board if you ask me. Thank you for that comment. Jamal said AK needs that kind of talk old people didn't sugarcoat. I don't know what his upbringing is, man, but when you come up that way, and like I always says, I pay attention to that because the NFL's octopus reaches all the way; those tentacles reaches all the way to the playgrounds and the around where you get the children very small at a young age, and then you put visions and stars in their eyes of being the next NFL running back, which is fine. But let's balance that off with stars in their eyes of being the next business owner or the next person that that's the next NFL commissioner, the next Roger Goodell. Let's put stars in their eyes about being the next boss or something, and not just the guy running up on the field tearing his body up. You see what I'm saying? There got to be a counterbalance to the thinking here because it's a factory that's bred from the playgrounds up into the pro league to college right into the pro league. I mean, you go through the playgrounds to the middle schools or to the high schools up into the colleges and into the pros. It's a pipeline, and they got a pipeline for the next 100 years. The issue is we have to be smarter on what we teaching our children, so we don't just teach them to be the leg muscle and to be a player that make millions of dollars, but he got to spend millions of dollars to take care of himself when he get old because his brain ain't gonna work too well because of the concussions and his body's broken down because of the abuse he put on himself, the painkillers and all the chemicals he's forcing into his body. It's real talk here. It's real talk. It's 100% real talk here. So, I mean, it's sad. But we got to be smart. That's why I pray for them so much, so man, because I know the kind of world that these guys are in, man. They don't show it because they're not supposed to. But you got to pray for them dudes, man, because their minds and bodies and the type of stuff they're around. My goodness, man, my goodness. All right, big ups to you. Notice AK got okay. Thank you for that, bro. He says got to act a fool. He said early in the season, Big Q. Boy said he don't give a damn, and I know, bro. And see, he's supposed to say that because he's a young man that's stupid. I said that before. I've not said anything to the different. I said that that's a stupid movement that he did, irresponsibly endanger his entire running back room going to a club in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, come on now. I mean, even if you don't believe in the stuff, still and all, there's people out there, you got to respect what happens. Then something happens, you goes there, you infect the whole room. What if something drastic would have occurred? How would you have left with that? So, like I said, it's just you got to watch that, man. You got to, and it's up to the head coach to wrangle in stupid players like that. And the way you do that is by taking their playing time away from 'em. Hell, you could take their money all day. That don't hurt them as much as taking their play time away. Take his play time away. Suspend him for a couple of games. I mean, you should have been using Latavius Murray more anyway. I mean, but it's all on the head coach, man. You can't sit here and people gonna blame Alvin Kamara. You can't get away from the angle that Sean Payton is the head coach. If that guy wasn't gonna wear the devices and do what he's supposed to do, he should not have been playing in any of the games. If he wasn't doing what he's supposed to do, I've been telling you that. He don't give a damn. He called him Sean, and I was in the building. I don't know what he talking about. I was in the building. He wasn't in the goddamn. I called him a liar to his face on the show because you full of it, and I'm gonna call you. I don't care who you are. You can be the president of the country, or you can be a running back on an NFL team. If you're full of shit, I'm gonna call y'all either way, partner. I don't care. I don't give a damn. How about that? Eat that. Anthony says not as bad as Haskin incident, right? Bro, no, well, I don't know if I'm gonna compare the two, but right now Haskins, he got knocked up off the team. He with Pittsburgh right now, so I guess it won't be as bad as him getting released. But he wasn't productive. But if he was productive, he wouldn't have been released. That's the ugly truth about the matter too. You know what I'm saying? KK 5044448 Fox said it back. All eyes on us. Okay, the Saints is. You absolutely right. Jamal says AK needs to know what he is doing is disrespectful and his actions have consequences. Not unless the coach teaches. Who gonna teach? Keep saying, man, we're gonna get it together. Jonathan says, Big Q, I know you're not a conservative, but you speak like a true conservative. I don't really I'm commonsensical, bro. I know about both conservative and liberal philosophies. I'm not really a political person because to some degree it's a duopoly. It's two parties that's actually the same party pretending like they're warring with each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's certain, it's to a great deal because I know the histories of them. Hell, I did a 2-hour documentary about both of the origins of these parties. So I know it full well exactly who they are and what they come from and the philosophy. I know it's more divisive than anything. But I think commonsensical thing like respect the people, man, having respect and love for your mate, your neighbor, looking out for each other, looking out for good people, no matter what color they are. If they're good people, it's not about people, your family, if they look like you. It's people who think like you do or your family. That's pretty. Remember that saying? That's true, man. That's true. We got to understand that, man. We really do. We got to look out for each other. Really do. So it don't matter what color you are, what walk of life, or which, whatever it is. If you're a good person, good people should be with good people because bad people don't matter. No matter what they are, they're gonna hang together. Bad people, and you tell me all the evil people in the world. They're not just one color. They all kind of colors because they don't care. Like my grandma said, and I keep telling y'all that she said the devil is an equal opportunity employer. She been saying that. That shook me up for a while because I was like, huh, man. I ain't get it till I was much older about that. But think about that for a second. All right, KK says Jamal with the money, aka should have a pole in his house. Jamal, you terrible. All right, all right. Sean said that's called old school. Well, that's it should be at least should be a consistent and steady flow of morals. But see, that's how where everything in the situation that it is right now because they told you to get this up because this is old school. It don't work, and that some of this is ageless. It's timeless. Some stuff is meant to go on forever. If you have respect and love for people, man, that have respect and love for you, man, we can all make this all right. But you got to put people at odds. That's what I'm saying. But first, before you have situations to change, you got to understand the problem and you have to fix it. You got to have the vision and the clairvoyance to be able to see that the team is not it has accountability issues. And when they fail, I already knew what was the problem. He's like, "Well, how you knew that, Q? Because it was the same problem you last year." That was easy. Well, how you knew that, Q? How you called it like that? I knew it because they didn't fix it from last year, and they didn't fix it from the year before that, and they didn't fix it from the year before that, and they didn't fix it from the year. See what I'm saying? And see, and I even told you it's an accountability issue they didn't fix year after year because the guy that's at the top is not capable of fixing it. Because in order for him to fix it, he has to then give powers up to other people to help him come in there and change it. But he's not willing to give up the power. He's not even willing for people to challenge him in certain arenas. I can't challenge you. So with that being said, if you got a person with that mentality that can't be challenged even on his philosophies and schemes or even play calls, you're not going to have that much progressiveness or change going on in there. You're not going to fix much. And that's why I'm saying they have never fixed the accountability issues from the past year that continue to trip the team up. People are like, well, it's not a talent issue. It's not a schematic issue. It's not that at all. It's accountability. The coach needs to be held accountable by people that's a lot larger than him because he lacks the accountability mechanism to hold himself accountable. And then if he recognizes that he lacks those things to make him be accountable, that he should have people or advisors around him that he gives the power to then pull his coattail, which he doesn't and not going to do. He's not because to a certain degree, psychologically, it's a lot of insecurity in Peyton. It really is for you to behave in that manner because you should never be threatened. And even bureaucrats, prime ministers of the world operate with an advisory commission. I mean, you're just a football coach. You're supposed to take stuff from other people to pull your coattail when you're running 15 straight plays, passing plays, or you screening too much. People can't tell them nothing. The reporters can't ask you any questions, and all that breeds into a point. That's why I kept telling y'all over and over again, you're not gonna win a Super Bowl until he gets that under control. I've been telling you that. And the cold part about it is I've been doing that for years, been saying that for a while, and the dude refusingly, arrogantly refuses to accept that information. There is no success very in deep, like you get into a deep playoffs, you're not gonna get there unless you give that up. But you have to be desperate enough to give that up. Which he's not, because he's too comfortable. Why else? Why would he change? Why is it need for him to change anything? I got all the power in the world. Nobody tell me shit. I can go out. I can lose in the playoffs. Nobody puts no pressure on me. Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl, same like Peyton. He don't have 49 wins in 4 years, but he got one Super Bowl just like Peyton got a Super Bowl. And the reality is they ran his ass out of town quite recently. But the Who Dats hold on to him because we are tormented people. We were dysfunctional, tormented people that were beaten down by a dysfunctional football team for years. And this is the hardcore truth about being a Saints person. We were tormented by the Saints for years of the losing, the brown to the point where we wore brown bags and hit our face because we was even to the point we loved our team so much so that we still supported them, but it was so terrible so that we had to put brown bags over our head to hide our identity while we still could support the team because we didn't have want to have nobody to know that we were Saints people and that we was losing so they wouldn't make fun of you. This is a tormented people, the Saints people. And we are so terrified of that past that we would rather hold on to a person that will under deliver than to try to make a move and find somebody else that can actually give you what you're looking for. Think about that for a second. Think about the psyche of that type of people. We were a tormented people. And then when first thing we say when you ask them to open up the questions on this coach is they'll say he gave you a Super Bowl way back in 2009 and we won a bunch of games. We went to the playoffs. Went to the playoffs. But and we don't want to go back. You get rid of them. We're gonna go back to the Brown bad day. That's the first thing they say. But they don't take in consideration the history of other teams that don't have that type of success. They don't take in consideration that you're not a brown bag team anymore. You're a team that people want to come and coach for you now. You're a respected organization. You're not a brown bag team anymore. You have too much talent to be a brown bag team. Even the Green Bay Packers understood that to a degree when they got rid of Mike Holmgren, who took them to the Super Bowl. Then they got Mike McCarthy, who took them to the Super Bowl, got rid of him. And now they got this other coach, Matt LaFleur, who's won and went to the playoffs in back-to-back contests and even took his team, Green Bay, to the NFC Championship. What was it, last year too? I think he got as far as the NFC Championship last year. I mean, this guy just got here for Green Bay and already taking his team deep into the playoffs, past what our coach was doing the last 2 years. Come on. Sometimes, bro, listen, you are meant to be brought up to a certain point, and then somebody gonna bring you on to the next level. Isn't that not the case with John the Baptist in the Bible? When he came, people saying, "Are you him?" No, I'm not him, but I do prepare the way for him to come. And then ultimately he was teaching you about who was to come according to Christian faith that said that the ultimate man was you know who. And that was the guy that was meant to take you to salvation, not John the Baptist. What I'm saying is sometimes people are meant to bring you up to a certain point and then somebody else will come and take you the rest of the way. You get what I'm saying? And people don't get that. They don't understand it. They think that there is no life, and that's a shame, man. But see, that comes from a great place of pain, a great place of torment, a great place of dysfunction. And that is really inside of our psyche and our heart. We thinking that if we change this man, that we will go back to that. And that is so sad. That's sad. That's like being in a relationship with a person that's abusive, just kicking your ass, man or woman. It don't make no difference. Because they got some women out there that'll whoop on a man. Let me tell you something, they beat the hell out of him. But either way, an abusive person is an abusive person. That's wrong. But you be in an abusive relationship, and then this person, giving you and abusing you, and you thinking that you can't get away from this person because you're gonna get the same type of person on the next go around, or you're gonna get a lesser person. That is so terrible, so dysfunctional. So I hope that in my time here as a Saints person, hopefully I can reach out to all the hurt and who that's who got that torment in their soul and all that going on, that dysfunction, to make them understand, hey, listen, you're not that anymore. Let that go. You're not that person. Stop holding on like this is the end all be all. They got plenty of other coaches and quarterbacks that's gonna bring us to higher days, than higher than we've ever been. Stop thinking that you can't have more just because of this one person. I keep telling them, don't do that. That's why I use the Green Bay model to try to get people to see exactly what I'm saying. That there are more people out there that's gonna come and take this team further into the future. So just remember that. So anyway, big ups to the family members out there, man. I appreciate y'all for chiming in. It's hitting the point just 2 o'clock right now. I'm talking to y'all, man, and I appreciate y'all for being here as well. And as always, man, I appreciate y'all chiming in. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you aren't subscribed to the Great Saint Think Tank and the Sports Coma. And always, if you want to help out the show, please feel free Hit the links in the description section. Sign up for our Patreon page. We got a lot of content there you'll have access to. But our R&Q, Big Q show, our news show, our Q&A, TSC Q&A live show every Tuesday, which we have 30 plus episodes on there too. Patreon, a lot of content. Plus, it helps out the platform. Become a member and join our YouTube page as well. And also check out the merch shop, the links in the description section. And ultimately, feel free to share the links on your social media feed because they help out a lot of ways too. So, can join me, join me and all the beautiful Black and Gold family members of the Great Saint Think Tank as we move forward, man, and hopefully try to change hearts and minds of people, man, moving forward because we deserve a lot better than what we're getting is all I'm trying to tell you. We are great and we deserve great. And that's all I'm trying to tell you. Relinquish the past and let's all move in the present toward the future. How about that? So once again, thank you. I appreciate y'all for being here on the show. KK 504 and 404 ladies asked me what's the score, Big Q, tomorrow. I've not really thought about it, to be honest with you, about the Super Bowl game, the KC and the Tampa Bay matchup. I really haven't been thinking about it. To be honest with you, I've been really just fixated on Saint content. I've been kind of pissed off about, the Tampa Bay situation in there, but ultimately I think Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl. I think more than likely to be a high 30-ish game, like 35-31 or maybe 35-34 or 38-34, something like that. It'll be in the 30s, in my opinion. It'll be something like that. And I think Tom Brady will ultimately end up getting, and you don't go through as much as he goes through and do what he do just to get there and lose. So I think Tom Brady and the Bucs beat the Chiefs tomorrow. They got a lot going on. And I just think that's how it ended out. They ain't going to bring them all the way to Tampa Bay, in my opinion, and they'll lose to the Chiefs in their own building. And that never been done. And they've been trying to situate that for some time now. So with that being said, I think it'll be a Tom Brady Super Bowl, man. That's what I'm thinking. It'll be a Tom Brady Super Bowl. And wouldn't that be bad, man? But once again, the Saints did it to themselves. We do it to ourselves because we refuse to keep it real, man. But that's all right. I'm going to keep it real. But once again, I thank y'all, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay safe. And I'll see you another time. Who that to you?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, Who Dat Nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.